On tonight's Air Arms TV, we take a trip to the Dark Continent and meet up with Air Arms South Africa's Matt Dubber. Matt is a master pest problem crack shot with his own YouTube channel. He loves his Air Arms, and tonight he's going to be showing us what he's all about. So far on Air Arms TV, we've been to the NAFTA Classic FT shoot and met up with rising star Jack Harris. We've taken a look at some of the finest air-powered rifles on the market, tested by some of the top shooting names. And we've also been on the prowl for problem pests of the night and our own patches in Derbyshire and Staffordshire. Tonight, we found ourselves a little further afield. Air Arms are a staple name of the shooting community and offer some of the best air rifles on the planet. Even though they're a British company with British-made air rifles, Air Arms are sold and shot on all corners of the globe. In South Africa, we've met up with Air Arms enthusiast Matt Dubber. Matt is a pest control hunter based in the stunning Eastern Cape, and he only shoots Air Arms. He's such a fan that he set up his own YouTube channel and named it, yep, you've guessed it, Air Arms Hunting South Africa. The pests on the Dark Continent are bigger, tougher and bite harder than those in the UK. So, to manage those pests, you've got to be a good shot, and Matt is just that. Not only can Matt take some tricky shots with his air rifles, he's also very knowledgeable about ballistics and is happy to share his knowledge with his audience. Grab a pen and a paper, it's time to learn how to shoot.
Hi there, my name is Matt Dubber. I'm with Air Arms Hunting South Africa and Air Arms TV, and today I'm out here on a farm slap bang in the middle of South Africa's Eastern Cape. This area is well known for some of the best trophy hunting in the world, but today our quarry is on the complete opposite side of the spectrum. This farm has one of the worst pigeon and starling infestations I have ever seen in my life. So we're going to tackle that today, and once that's done we're going to go after a family of ground squirrels which have been stealing food from the feeding troughs. My rifle of choice today is the Air Arms S510 Xtra FAC. This is more than just a work of art. This is a high-powered air rifle capable of delivering a real punch at long ranges with pinpoint accuracy. Let's get straight to it.
Now, as you can see here, this part of the world can get very dry, and that means that there's not always enough grass for the livestock to graze on, and extra feed has to be supplied. This feed contains a mix of everything required to keep the Brahmins healthy. The downside to this is that the grain in the feed attracts a whole lot of unwanted visitors. And when I say a whole lot, I mean a freaking army of birds. The rock pigeons and the pied starlings are the major culprits, and both need to be removed. But I'm going to target the pigeons first, as they consume a lot more. Their breast meat is also a favorite of mine. Over the years, I've learned how to make a very delicious pigeon pie. The starlings we'll get to later. A quick look around the cattle enclosures reveals a whole lot of potential perching spots, so I begin to formulate a plan.
There's actually a dam right next to the cattle enclosures, so what I've done is I've positioned myself on the dam wall. It gives me a perfect bird's eye view of all the possible perching spots. I've got my rangefinder here, I've got my anemometer, and I've got my range cards. So all I really need to do is range each possible perching spot, find out the wind speed and wind direction, and then set aim points for each possible spot so that when the birds land I can take my shots quickly. We're going to start off close, setting out a couple decoys in one of the empty enclosures, and once I'm happy with that we're going to push it out to, I don't know, maybe 85 to 100 meters depending on what the wind's doing, so we can see what this rifle can do.
The first bird that comes in is nice and close. And it's a great shot. He drops straight down, and I set him up as a decoy. As soon as the first decoy is set out, they start coming in. And it's just a matter of picking them off one by one. And here's another one. This is already starting to look like a really good day. I look over to the decoy I'd set out, and there is plenty of activity. A well-placed spine shot supplies me with another decoy.
Let's see what we can do. This is a 2-minute of angle shot.
As insignificant as these birds may seem in the bigger picture of life, it's still important to dispatch them cleanly. It's just a matter of good hunting ethics and morals. I know that if I wound these birds, they'll fly off into the lucerne fields and I'll never find them. But I also know that I can trust this rifle to put the pellet exactly where it needs to go. Another bird comes and lands amongst the decoys. The S510 takes no prisoners. So far, the shots I've taken have been from fairly close. But when a longer shot presents itself, I never turn it down.
Now, there are plenty of good high-powered air rifles out there, but there's one thing that makes the Air Arms S510 Xtra FAC a cut above the rest, in my opinion, and that is the adjustable power. Now, most air rifle manufacturers will put out high-powered air rifles with velocities that are just cooking. And while that's what you want to a certain extent, once you start pushing that power past a certain amount, you begin to lose accuracy at long ranges. Now, what this rifle allows you to do is to actually dial that power to exactly where you want. So you can find that sweet spot where the velocity is high enough to maintain a pretty flat trajectory, but low enough to be very stable at long ranges.
The pigeon lands on the roof about 65 meters away, and I get a clean headshot. Now we're starting to get pretty far out now. This one is just under 90 meters.
Nice.
At this range, shot placement is more important. He collapses on the spot and will make a good decoy.
The wind is actually pretty inconsistent. It's swirling around a bit and changing direction, but what's nice is that I can use the ripples on the dam right behind me as a reference point to find out the immediate wind direction.
And just as I was hoping, this one comes in and lands right next to his friend, and is in for a nasty surprise.
Now, I don't know about you, but this whole mating with the dead bird thing is just creeping me out, so let's end this now, shall we?
Hunting pigeons is actually pretty simple. All you have to do is find the off switch. If you can hit the spot every time, they'll be dropping like hailstones.
I'm not really happy with what the wind's doing at the moment. It's picked up a little bit and it's changed direction, so it's blowing from the side now. It's making things pretty difficult. So we're going to try and find a new shooting position and let's see how we go from here.
Before moving off to my new spot, I decided to collect up some of the decoys before the crows get hold of them. There were plenty of crows circling around already. I have a pretty good idea where I want to set up next.
So we've had to move spots now to try and get out of that strong crosswind, and we're actually standing in a pretty massive storage shed at the moment. It's actually the perfect spot because it's directly into the wind, it's up close and personal to the birds, and it's so dark in here that the birds can't see a thing in here. I can see them a lot better than they can see me. There's a bunch of feeding troughs literally about 20 meters from where I'm standing. The birds will come and land in the surrounding trees and I'll take them from there.
I settle into a shooting position and get to work straight away. Now this one's quite interesting. I have to take a standing shot because he's half hidden by the wall, and I miss completely. But that's the beauty of a silenced air rifle. He didn't even know I'd shot at him, and I could take a follow-up shot. And it's a solid headshot.
Oh, that was a headshot. He's flapping around quite a bit.
At this point, I felt that I'd done a pretty good job reducing the number of pigeons to a more manageable amount. The wind had calmed down a bit, so I decided to head back to the dam wall and take out some pied starlings. The starlings are an absolute menace around here. All the farmers despise them, but they're a lot smarter than the pigeons, and for that reason, they don't let you come anywhere close to them, and that is fine by me. The conditions are almost perfect now, with a consistent breeze coming in from the left, and no gusts whatsoever. I spot a starling in one of the trees on the far side of the enclosures, and I get out the rangefinder again and prepare for the long shot.
That's quite a long shot. It's 100 meters on the dot. So 4.75, what is that? 21 minutes of angle. And I'm going to hold 1 mil dot, no, 1.5 mil dots for the wind. Yeah, got him.
I get another opportunity from the same tree shortly afterwards, so it's just a matter of loading up again, getting on target and pulling the trigger. This is the last bird of the day, coming in at about 95 meters. The pellet passes straight through his head for a perfect shot. I have to admit, I was actually going for a heart and lung shot, so I was actually a good few centimeters off target. But that's why you should always rather overcompensate for pellet drop than undercompensate. You never know what luck might come your way. So, ground squirrel time. I had seen these guys running about throughout the day, but had kept my focus on the birds. Before the day ended, I wanted to take at least one. They are extremely difficult to shoot because they don't like sitting still, and that's a nightmare if you're trying to film and shoot at the same time. But I finally get my chance. Take a good heart shot and he's out within a couple seconds.
Well, the farmer had told me earlier that if I see any of these ground squirrels eating from the feed that I should take them out. I saw them scurrying across the road, and it turns out they have a whole bunch of holes. There's one right here. Didn't manage to get any of those, but I saw this guy just chilling in the sun and managed to take an offhand shot at him right here on the shoulder. Shot exited out the other shoulder for a clean kill. I realize it's only one of them, so it probably won't make that much of a difference to the overall number.
I managed to get another one off camera, same shot placement. That's 2 for the bag, not too bad. It's been an awesome day shooting, one of the best I've had in a long time. We had some crazy action and I will definitely be back for more next year.
To find out more about Mad Dubber, search for Air Arms Hunting SA on YouTube. To find out more about the amazing Air Arms S510 Extra, visit airarms.co.uk. And click one of the boxes below to choose another amazing air-powered video from Team Wild TV and subscribe to be kept up to date with all the new shows and videos. You and Air Arms, a winning combination.